WWE SummerSlam is August 21st, and we have a huge match made for SummerSlam. That was made maybe a week or so ago. Um, However, due to some wellness violations, and not WWE's violations, but the USADA from the UFC, which we'll get to in a little bit, uh, we have Raw's Brock Lesnar versus SmackDown's Randy Orton. And it's a match that was very interesting to see what would happen from here. However, Brock Lesnar has again failed a USADA, United States Anti-Doping Agency's testing after UFC 200 when he beat Mark Hunt in a somewhat convincing fashion. It was a decent fight, at least, but Lesnar has failed the June 28th sampling and the July 9th sampling. I just want to go through that really quickly. The USADA tests people like crazy. There are at least 6 other tests that Brock Lesnar has so far passed before these 2 failing. What we know is Brock Lesnar's the substance that was caught at first was Advair, which for those who don't know, Advair is for asthma and other kind of breathing problems that could be fixed with that. It's kind of like the equivalent of how Adam Rose got popped for Adderall, which helps with people who have ADHD or ADD, people that are on the autism spectrum, stuff like that. Except, depending on how the USADA does their sampling, and even though Advair is pretty much like a gas, pretty much like an inhaler in a way, it depends on how they do their sampling, and that could have been it, but it wasn't. It was I don't know if I hope I don't butcher this. Actually, it's cloma clomiphene. Clomiphene, I believe that's how you say that. I'll put it in the description just so if I say it wrong, people can pronounce it better. But basically, it is a anti-estrogen blocker, mostly used for bodybuilders to make sure they don't basically grow breasts and have, it's basically a post-steroid psychotherapy. Like basically, it's on your off cycle, so it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's basically to help stimulate testosterone. And since Brock is 39, you can't be a beast at that age without some form of help. WWE has not really done anything about this, especially with how high their wellness policy is. It depends. It mainly depends on what the USADA does, because they could potentially suspend Brock Lesnar for 2 years, just based on this could potentially technically could be counted as a PED. It's technically kind of in the same realm of TRT and stuff like that, although it has a fewer side effects, as we know, but it's cheaper than TRT, and it's a lot. I don't know how to say it exactly, because it's very shocking that this would happen to Brock. I wouldn't be surprised because, again, he's 39 years old. He's reaching the big 4-0. You can't be a monster like that without a lot of help. We don't even know if this match is still going to happen. As far as now, it is still going to happen. We do not know what the tests are. It's the same substance that was found in the system of John Bones Jones, the UFC light heavyweight champion, or the former champion. I believe, no, because I think someone's the interim champion at this point. I don't remember who. But the point here is Brock Lesnar, it's very shocking to see this with Brock. Although I shouldn't be as surprised. It's just weird to see this happen to a man that was a fucking beast ever since he was brought into the company all those years ago. But I would not be surprised if Orton wins the match just based on this alone, because you have to punish Brock in some form of way. If you don't suspend him, you need to at least have him lose in the match. It's really that simple. And Brock could afford a loss. He's beaten the Undertaker's streak. He's been the WWE champion. He's not really been defeated since beating the streak. Makes him more of an attraction. I mean, he won at WrestleMania recently against Dean Ambrose. But it's interesting. It's very interesting to see what happens, and hopefully we'll have some form of update sometime down the road.